What's on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series, and today we are returning with episode 100. Yes, welcome along to the first episode in treble figures of the save, and today, as we mark our 100th episode, I've got a special thank you episode as well. We've got 5 games today and 5 big ones as well. Schalke away in a Revier derby clashing Gelsenkirchen, Union Berlin at home as well. Nice away, big tough test there away in the Champions League in France. FC Cologne, and also we'll wrap up with what should be a banker, Ingolstadt in the second round of the DFB Pokal. There's loads of stuff to get through today in the thank you special, so without further ado, let's get straight to it. And of course, in the last episode, you saw our 2-0 win away against Stuttgart, and of course, the drama on deadline day where Captain Cabell finally left, and we brought in 3 new players as well. I played 5 games in a run off camera, and as you'll see, decent run, but our first 2 slip-ups in this run as well. We began with a 3-1 win against Mönchengladbach, though. Moukoko scoring a brace in 22 minutes, and he missed a penalty for his hat-trick as well. So frustrating, man. 2 missed penalties in a row for Yusufa, and Fernando got our third one 29 minutes in, whilst Mönchengladbach did grab a consolation goal. It's all it proved to be. But following out our first 2 draws of the season, first in our opening Champions League phase night against Monaco at home, Anthony Company opened the scoring 22 minutes in, but Dennis Seaman, he struggled since returning to the Bundesliga. Yes, he's had his first clean sheet since coming back to Germany, but I don't know how on earth he didn't save that shot there as Monaco managed to claim themselves a point. Following that, goalless draw away against Düsseldorf. Had a disallowed goal in this one later on. Thought we'd won it, unfortunately cancelled out through VAR, but even so, a point. So 2 slip-ups in a row. We did bounce back with 2 wins in a row. Firstly, a 4-0 win at home to Hoffenheim. Very comfortable win. Luca Romero opened the scoring, and Moukoko 6 minutes later. Cruiser made it 3 right before the half-time break. Lovely finish as well into the bottom corner. And then Angelo Landshooter. Yes, first goal for the teenage wonder kid. Brought him in for a world record fee for a 15-year-old at 19.75 mil from Nuremberg. Let's just say he's got a long way to go in his career. He's only 16 years old still, but scored his first goal in pro football. It was great to see a bit of a pinball goal, if you will, but he claims it counts, and it's his first senior goal in club football for the teenage wonder kid. And our final game, comfortable 3-0 win at home to Austria Vienna in the Champions League. Moukoko, 7 minutes in, opened the scoring. Fernando made it 2. We had another missed penalty, 3rd of the year already. I said to you, Sufi, you're not taking it, mate. You missed 2 in a row. So Lucas stands up to take it, and he missed. Unbelievable. 3 missed penalties in a row, and Wimmer betting a free kick right before the break to make it 3-0, and that was how the game would finish. So, interesting enough on Wimmer, by the way, I'll show you now. He's actually going to leave the club in the summer now. Where is he? He was playing right back, wasn't he? So Wimmer is going to leave in the summer. Now, we knew that was probably going to happen due to his contract expiring at the end of the season, and there was no 1-year extension. I don't know whether I would have given him a new one, to be honest. You know I love his stats here. My favourite personality in the game. Decent enough natural fitness. Mentally, really, really solid as well. He's so versatile. This guy can play almost anywhere on the pitch, but at 31, 32 at the end of the year, I don't know whether I would have given him a new deal, but in the end, I won't need to now. He's going to join Al Ain in Saudi Arabia for 15, sorry, not Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, for 15.5 mil initially, and of course it can rise with clauses. In fact, I can show you the full deal here. Here we are. Here, where's the? How do I do the? How do I do the? Is it here? Oh, here we go, yeah. So it's going to go for at the end of the season, so we'll keep him until the end of the season. So it's a £15.4 million deal, actually, up front, with instalments, no clause, I should say. And then if he hits 20 league games, which he should do, we'll get an extra £4 million to take it to 19.5 mil. So if a player out of his contract come the end of the season and going to turn 32 in May, it's not a bad deal. I'll take it. So right now, after a draw and a win in the Champions League, we currently sit in 8th place, only behind Monaco, who we drew with on the opening game by a single goal. So, yep, so far, not too bad. No defeats in the first 2, but we saw last year we went into the playoffs, and then, of course, we got knocked out in the following round by Stade Rennais. So, hopefully this year we'll be able to get ourselves in the top 8 and make sure we do finish with a automatic bye into the quarterfinals. As the Bundesliga, as you'll see, we're not top, obviously, because we barely ever are. But interestingly enough, neither are Bayern. RB Leipzig have turned into a win machine. Look at this, 100% in their first 7 games. 7 wins in a row, 21 points, 21 scored, and only 3 conceded. Bayern have drawn twice in their first 7, and yes, they, us and Leipzig are all undefeated so far, but they've drawn twice, but we're not top. It's RB Leipzig, 100% to start the season off. They're on absolute flames. And wouldn't it be just typical that after 20 years in a row, say Bayern do finally drop off top spot, we don't win it, RB Leipzig do. Vardiola's still there, by the way, for those curious, and an absolute monster still, of course. But still, it's unbelievable. 7 wins in a row for Leipzig. An amazing start. Let's see how long they can keep it up. Right then, so let's head into the first of the 5 games today. It is a Revier derby against Schalke, right now in 9th place in Gelsenkirchen, and heading into the game, aiming to stay undefeated in our first 7 and leapfrog Bayern and go into 2nd place and trail only 100% Leipzig. Right now on the injury report, Rain has been down for a few weeks. Haven't seen him since he got the sprained ankle ligaments back in September, so he'll miss the first game today. There's an international break directly after this, so he'll be able to recover there and come back for the following game. And Kiela Watjen has a knock as well. Other than that, everyone is fit, and this will be our team. It's the 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress. We often play. A couple of instructions have changed a little bit. I've adapted based on the games we played, basically, but for the most part, this is our normal system and our normal shape as well, and this will be our team. So Dennis Seaman is in goal, struggling a little bit since coming in here. Could really do a good run of clean sheets, to be fair. With Striddy at left back, the Dragon, Creswell and Fresneda. Kroza is our deep line playmaker, with Mane the ball-winning midfielder. Company's on the left, Romero is on the right, and Dos Santos playing through the middle supports Mukoko up top. On the bench you've got Alfonso, Bennett, Flavio, Curing, Ozcan, Lan Shooter, Vimmer, Diao, and Jordan Norton as well. Yeah, En-Nesyri's trial, by the way, has expired, and I didn't decide to give him a deal in the end. So, first game of 5 today. It's Schalke in the Revier derby. Let's start this run off with a win and go into 2nd. Come on, Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, honestly, thank you so much for the support on this save, guys. It's definitely been the most difficult one I've ever had. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we've won 5 major honours and a minor honour. 3 Carabao Cups, 2 Conference Leagues, and a German Super Cup as well. Which, is nice as Romero's going to get sent off there, for fuck's sake. 4 minutes in, needless. But it's been very difficult. But I really have enjoyed this save. Not when this sort of stuff happens, but even so. And the support, maybe not so much my tactics or my decision making at times, has been great. And for that I say thank you. It's I mentioned before, FM is like my favourite game to play. It really is. I absolutely love it. And let's also change mine to an anchor man now as well. So you're not with someone just chasing the ball around with a man light. But yeah, it's great. It's such a great game to play. It means the world to me when I see some of you guys say, perhaps you only started playing FIFA CM, but you wanted to give Football Manager a go, and now you do. It means a lot to me when I see that, like you guys giving FM a go if you never played it before because of my saves. I'm sure you'll do a lot better than I do, but no, it means a lot to me, that you guys allow me to play this game. It's my favourite one to play. I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed with the game at times, and it's been a difficult save this one, but I thoroughly have enjoyed it, and of course there is still a long way to go. So Schalke now will be in the ascendancy with the man advantage, and Bielefeld's definitely offside there. Wouldn't have counted that. Found her back in the net. I think now I definitely take a point, no doubt about that. Schalke, tough place to go again. Revier derby, away in Gelsenkirchen. Just staying undefeated in our first 7 games. Yes, there'll be a couple of draws in there, but tricky away games against Düsseldorf and Schalke, especially with Schalke being a man down, I'd take a point. So for the remainder of the game, this is going to be what the game's going to be like, I'd say. Yes, we'll have a lot of the ball, but Schalke, when they have it, will be able to use that man advantage. To me, just make sure we see out this point. So I'm going to make just a 1 change at the break, and that is take off counter press when we lose possession, because obviously a man light, we're going to have a lot of gaps in our system here if we just constantly chase after the ball as soon as we lose it. But I will stay on counter and distribute quickly, because what I've noticed is that Schalke, their fitness is quite poor, so I still want us to play at a high tempo. I'm not going to ask to play wider due to being a man light, but I will stay on a high tempo. But I think that will do it just for now. So yeah, second half to begin. And other than taking off counter press to give us a bit more defensive stability when we lose the ball, I'm okay with how we're getting on out there. And again, I will take this point and clean sheet. So final minute of the game, as Lan Shooter chips a lovely ball to Mukoko. I've just flipped to the right-hand side and inside forward. Yusuf finds Ozcan off the bench and... Nubel with an amazing save to ensure that Schalke don't lose it to 10 men draw and almost won it there. I bought on Land Shooter for the final few minutes because if you look at his stats here, he can play up top as a pressing forward with the work rate and the finishing as well. But to be fair, to have a man down for practically the entire game and almost win it to the death, I'll take that. It's a clean sheet, it's a point, a man light for the entire game, basically, away in a Revier derby. It's not a bad result, that at all. I'll take that. Good to see Seaman getting a clean sheet in that game as well. And for Land Shooter as well, I brought off the bench as a pressing forward in the final few minutes. I actually feel as though, personally, at the moment I'm retraining him to play in that Giovanni Reina role. A little bit further forward, so, he's not got the best long shot rating, but excellent technique and finishing and first touch and flair and decision making as well. I have to say, because it's so early on into his career, I feel as though we can really play him practically anywhere through this spine here. Maybe not centre half, but practically anywhere through this spine. And so I feel as though in the future I could definitely see him becoming a pressing forward. If you look at the work rate he's got there and the aggression as well, I think a pressing forward or possibly a deep lying forward to connect with Moukoko and play him through with the good passing and again the decision making as well. And with the finishing too, he'll be in a naturally further forward area. He'll be able to finish too. So it's an interesting one with Land Shooter. Where would we get the best out of him? Because even though naturally he started off deeper in his career, and again, there's no reason why he can't be a deeper player, to me, I think really we'd get more out of him further forward. As a support player, not a natural out-and-out goal scorer, as a support player, I think we get the best out of him here or here. Right then, moving on, back from the international break, second of the 5 back home. Union Berlin should be a banker. And, like I said, I don't mind drawing away against Schalke or Düsseldorf or whatever in tough games, but these are the games where if we are to be in a title race once again, we'll need to win. I expect likes to drop points at some point. They might do it today. If that's the case, in order to close the gap, we'll need to capitalise. Bayern home to Freiburg, that should be a banker. So even so early on in the season, I've got to look at these results here, these fixtures, I should say, sorry, and try and identify possible slip-ups for our opponents for the title race. So heading into the game, obviously Romero is suspended. Reina, I was going to play him 90 minutes on the in the week away against Nice, so I might just have him on the bench anyway. And anyway, yeah, this will be our team. It's 4-2-3-1, and Land Shooter will replace the suspended Romero for this one here as Company goes to the right-hand side. So Dennis is in goal. Back four is once again Striddy the Dragon, Creswell for Fresneda, Cruiser and Mane at DMGO with Dos Santos on the left, Company on the right, and again Land Shooter will support Moukoko up top, coming in for the suspended Romero. On the bench you've got Alfonso, Bennett, Flavio, Curing, Watjen, Ozcan, Vimmer, Reina, and Norton as well. Second of the 5, it's Union Berlin. Let's bounce back here with a big 3 points at home. Come on, Borussia Dortmund. Mane to Fresneda, and now Cruiser, first time past the Company, on the turn, back to the Dragon, and now Cruiser has Striddy out wide, and it will come to him via Dos Santos. Stefano, now back in his preferred left-hand side in our back four, into Fernando, crosses Land Shooter! Second goal in as many games for Angelo, from starts I should say, and Dortmund have the lead. Yep, scored his first goal for the club in his last start against Hoffenheim, and now he's got his second here at the Signal Iduna Park. Fernando floats one in, and it's Angelo converting from 6 yards. And again, when you look at his stats here, I really do feel as though he would be better further forward because he lacks the physicality, in my opinion, to be a proper defensive midfielder. His stats aren't really shaped up, in my opinion, for him to be operating in a DM area. But if you look at him further forward, great finishing, great first touch, and again, as a pressing type of player further forward with a 17 aggression and a 16 work rate, so that to me is where I think we'll get the best out of him. I think he'd be wasted as a DM and he'd be exposed due to his lack of physicality. Going forward, with the aggressive nature he's got, I think with the creativity as well, that is where he'll get his best form. So he scored his second in 3, and Dortmund have the lead here at home. And it's the 16-year-old with another on the ball to Cruiser. And out wide is Dos Santos, finds him, Fernando, out to Striddy, and here we go again, attacking down the left, Stefano. Trying to cross, Company at the far post with George Fresneda. Ivan with space to shoot, bottom corner, and he's first in a Dortmund shirt. Dragon to Creswell as the vice and new captain pairing. Play a couple of 1-2s between each other. So we're still leading by 2. We need to get a third goal and wrap these points up before the break. Moukoko should finish, and does. 7th of the year for Yusufa, and another assist for Fernando. I swear he's as good at putting the ball in the back of the net as he is creating goals as well. It's a lovely ball over the top by our number 9, and Dortmund will lead by 3 going into the break. Leipzig, as things stand, are goalless away in Frankfurt, so we should be cutting the gap to 2 points. And I want to make sure we've got a good squad out there for the game in midweek against Nice as well. So I'm going to take off a couple of players here. Fresneda's got a goal, so I'm going to bring him off for Watjen, who I really, really like. He's just such a versatile player. I really like it. I'm going to bring him on at right back anyway. I think I'm also going to take off Kroos or Striddy, one of the two definitely. I'm going to take off. I'll tell you what, I'll take off Kroos, and what I'll do is I'll swap he and Striddy's roles around, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take off Fernando, who's had a great game out there, and let's bring on Reina so we can get a bit of fitness up as well for the final 45 minutes. So second half to begin, 3 changes at the break, we're in control though, 3-0 up, we should see this game out comfortably. We might get a 4th goal right after the restart as well. Charlie to Filippo. And now Watjen off the bench slides a lovely ball through to Company. He's got Mukoko in the middle. Instead he goes for Reina at the far post, and he says thanks very much, as he'll get an assist 3 minutes in to coming off the bench. Yusufa gets his second, 4-0 Dortmund. Oh, and Frankfurt have just gone in front against Leipzig, so as things stand, will cut the gap to 1 point at the top of the table when that refreshes. So Bayern had a late kickoff today, but even so, big... Oh, no, 2-1 up. For fuck's sake. Oh, Landshooter's just scored, but I don't think that's going to count. So I was making a sub there, taking off Mukoko, so we fit enough for the game in the week. But has Landshooter just got a brace, or was that offside? Well, I didn't really get to see it. So, oh, it stands. Landshooter's just scored his 2nd goal of the game, and now his 3rd of the season as well. So Yusufa won't have a chance to get a hat-trick now, because I'm about to take him off. But it's a brilliant ball by Filippo. And this is what I was talking about. Landshooter, to me, is better further forward than he is deeper, as the Italian bags an assist. Mukoko will come off for Norton now, so he can play in the week. But Landshooter is now chasing a hat-trick, and his first career hat-trick at 16 as Creswell almost scored his first of the year, and it's cleared away. Dominant display here in Dortmund. And Landshooter wins it back. He's having a ball out there. Best game so far in professional football for the 16-year-old wonder kid. Stefano finds Luis Flavio off the bench, and the left back comes in. He's got Angelo in the middle. Instead, Jordan Norton goes for goal, and it hits the post. Company shot deflected, and our fullback on loan at Union Berlin, Benediktsson, will clear. We've absolutely dominated out there. So whilst Leipzig are going to remain perfect from their first 8, we're going to keep the pressure on for our first 8 games ourselves. Good response there. We'll take the final victory, unfortunately, as Leipzig do come from behind to win. We remain 4 points behind, but it's a big, big win to come back from on the back of the draw in the Revier derby. We'll take that. Oh, look at this. I was just processing through to the midweek game against Nice, and Bayern has slipped up again. 2-2 draw at home to Freiburg this time. So they've now slipped up 3 times in their first 8 games. This is just typical. The first season where Bayern has stumbled out of the block since I've been here, and we're 4 points behind perfect Leipzig. This is just typical Doxy boy luck. We have Leipzig next month as well, and obviously I'm going to come back for that game, no doubt about it, but this is just a phenomenal start for the Bundesliga side going for their first ever Bundesliga title. They meet Bayern in their following Bundesliga game. Now, those are 2 tricky tests there, which I highly doubt they'll be able to keep their winning run going. And then they've got to go away to Augsburg in good form as well. So other than the Karabakh game and 1860 Munich in the Cup as well, theoretically you could see them slipping up 3 times out of their 5, and that'll be really good for us going into that game, knowing that theoretically, fingers crossed, touch wood, they've had a few slip-ups. Let's say we remain unbeaten, we might fancy our chances there away at the Red Bull Arena to beat them for the first time this season. So, yeah, we could do with them slipping up at least a couple of times before that game, and there's chances there. Man City and Bayern, over to you. Right then, 3rd of 5, 3rd game in the Champions League phase so far, Nice away. I swear I'm triggered. Every time we go to France, I always feel like we'll lose because, well, in the save, every time we have gone to France, we've lost. Back-to-back against Stade Rennais. We lost to Lens here, if you remember, with Bournemouth back in the Europa League as well. We overturned the deficit, of course, in the second leg in Bournemouth, but even so, France is not my country in the save, so a little bit triggering coming here for our 3rd game. And, of course, we also drew with Monaco. That, of course, that was at the Signal Iduna Park. Wait, was it? No, it wasn't. That was away, wasn't it? In Monaco. Wasn't it? No, it was at home. Okay, interesting. Okay. Forgot that. Anyway, heading into the game, this will be our team. Once again, 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress with Dennis in goal. Back four is now Krozer, the Dragon, Creswell, and Fresneda. With Landshuter now deeper, so I'm going against what I was talking about a moment ago there. It's just because really I want to get Rayner some minutes, and Rayner isn't a DM, obviously, so because of that, I will drop Landshuter slightly deeper, with Mane once again the BWM. Dos Santos on the left, Romero comes back from suspension on the right, and Rayner is back in for the first time in over a month, supporting Moukoko up top. On the bench, you've got Alfonso, Bennett, Subotic, Flavio, Watjen, Curing, Ozcan, Wimmer, Diao, Mohamed, Company, and Jordan Norton as well. Strilly gets a night off. So, third to five, it's Nice away. Could really do with our second win in the Champions League phase here. Come on, Borussia Dortmund. So, first highlight falling early inside the first 3 minutes. Good double press there by Moukoko and the Dragon to win it back. And now as Rayner finds Fernando, it's Dos Santos. Oh! And it clips the top of the bar before going over. Good start from Dortmund, going at Nice, but still 0-0. I want to keep my eye on what's going on in the Leipzig game against Manchester City, because I really need them to slip up, you know. If they can come through Man City and Bayern, they can go the whole season undefeated, I would say. So really need them to slip up at some point. As Romero searches for Fernando, who's hustling, wins it. Moukoko pops into the bottom corner for his 9th of the year. Great hustle from Fernando. And yet another assist for our number 9. Now, he's got 7 assists in the Bundesliga. I think this is his first in Europe, but I think at this rate he's going to set a new record for most assists in a single season, because Fernando's creativity this year has been phenomenal. 7 in the league, and now I think it's first in Europe. 1-0 Dortmund. Creswell, the captain, into Filippo Mane, and now Romero takes over, and Luca back in the team to Moukoko, finds Dos Santos. Oh, he's just brilliant. 5th of the year for our number 9. Do you know what? I'm going to bust out some ABBA. I haven't done it yet, but I can't resist it anymore. There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando. Yes, second of the night in the south of France, and we are currently dominating. Youssoufa gives it back to Dos Santos, says, here you go, thanks for setting me up, here's the return gift, and it is 2 for Dortmund 15 minutes in. He's just dominating this season. What a baller. I still can't believe I was so close to not signing him on deadline day last season for that release clause of around 35, 36 mil, I think it was. What an absolutely terrible decision that would have been had I left him in Portugal. He's dominating here at Dortmund. So, second half begins as we still lead by 2. I've taken off Angelo at the break because the kid's going to need a bit of a breather, as he'll need to play on the weekend as well. He's just, at the moment, I've just got to keep playing him, you know, because he needs the game time to develop. We all accept that. And I just want to make sure he stays in good form as well, you know. It's crucial that a player keeps on getting consistent minutes when they're in good form and they're feeling themselves. Youssoufa, Denaiwa, and Iñaki Peña. We right now are starting to play some really, really good football, as well as getting the results as well. It's excellent to see as the Dragon hits the bar and Nice hold on still 2-0 down. So trying to close these 3 points out, and another clean sheet for Dennis, who desperately needs one, as we still lead by 2. Lovely ball by Company for Ozcan to chase, and the former vice-captain is through, and he scored his 4th of the year already. Ozcan drills it home, Dortmund 3-0 up. I put him on to be an anchor man, and he's just gone up the other end and made it 3-0. Dominant victory in the way of south of France, and I have seen at Manchester City, and now 3-1 up in Leipzig as well. So we're going to remain undefeated in all competitions. Leipzig are not. Is this a turning point early on in the season? So dominant victory away in the south of France. 3-0 means we do remain undefeated to start the season off. And you might have just caught a brief glimpse at the league table in the Champions League as well. Leipzig have finally tasted defeat with a loss at home to Manchester City. So thank you very, very much, Manchester City, because finally Leipzig have slipped up this season. And that's great timing as well, knowing that in just a few weeks' time, we'll be taking them on away at the Red Bull Arena as well. So they are human after all. Leipzig can be beaten, and it came at home as well. Hopefully Bayern can do the same, and if we win, we'll close the gap to just 1 point in the Bundesliga too. So, penultimate game of this episode, 4th of 5. It is FC Cologne away at the Rhein Energy Stadion. Always a tough place to go, but heading into this game with Leipzig hosting Bayern later on today, the leaders versus the champions. I don't know who I'd want to win that game, really, because, I mean, surely not Leipzig, 'cause that would mean they're 9 wins out of 9 and 27 points on the board, but can I really hope for a Bayern win after them winning 20 titles in a row? Let's just say a draw would do me just fine. But we can cut the gap on Leipzig if they slip up later away at the Red Bull Arena, but we must win this game here. Tough away day against FC Cologne. So heading into the game, this will be our team. Once again, 4-2-3-1. You might notice that in my away days now, I'm actually shifting our mentality back from if I was on attacking on the last game, I'll go to positive, and if I was on positive in the last game, I'll go to balanced. I feel as though maybe that was my problem in away days previously. I was going too attacking, and that's why I was conceding games and losing in games where we are away. And as we know, the away days are quite OP, so maybe a bit more conservative, if you will. But I think perhaps this is helping us a little bit here, being more balanced in our mindset. So heading into the game, Dennis is in goal. Back four is once again Striddy, the Dragon, Creswell, and Fresneda with Kroza and Marnie, our DM duo. Dos Santos on the left, Romero on the right, and Landshuter supports Mukoko up top. On the bench, we've got Alfonso, Bennett, Flavio, Watjen, Ozcan, Vimarena, Company, and Norton as well. Anthony Company, I must say, he's had a bit of a drop off. You know, when I first arrived, he was my guy. Like, he was absolutely dominating when I first took over, but since his magical season last year, he had a bit of a struggle towards the end, and this season, well, says it all there. Just a 1 goal and 1 assist in our first 8 games. Not a great start for number 10. Anyway, heading into the game, this will be our team. Cologne away, as we aim to make it, I think, what's that now? Would that be 9? 7 wins and 2 draws in 9? I think, anyway, regardless, come on, Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the first time since I've joined Dortmund where I want Bayern to get a result in their next game. This is the very first time I've wanted them to avoid defeat, I think, but such has been the perfection of Leipzig to start the season off. We need someone to slow them down before we take them on away at the Red Bull Arena. Hopefully that'll be Bayern this evening. Anyway, first highlight coming here, away in Cologne. And it's going to fall to Dortmund with Kroos sending it long. Romero's on the end of it. And Luca converts from close range. Was he offside though? Brilliant bit of vision from Kroos. You've heard me say that enough times since I've bought him. But was Romero offside there? 50-50 I'd say. It'll go to VAR. And the goal stands. Luca fires us in front after a lovely ball by Loreen Kroos. This guy, his vision, his creativity, absolutely phenomenal. It's why I didn't want him at left back because, yeah, maybe, of course, he's got the stats to play there. But to me, with the fantastic vision, the anticipation, the decision making, and again the positioning, so crucial on a DL with good passing as well. Okay, we miss out on the crossing, we miss out on the pace, I suppose, but he's not a great dribbler. As an anchor man, as a DLP, just to spread those balls forward, he's literally the perfect guy for that role. Another assist for our number 2, and Dortmund take an early lead. Cologne, however, looking for a response soon afterwards. Heinrich down the right crosses. Filippo says, I'll take that. And we'll pass our way forward. Fernando, Dos Santos, to Landshuter, Angelo. Lets the ball run across his body. Out to Romero, who scored our first. Rolls through Mukoko for the second. 10th of the year for Yusufa. Luke with a goal and an assist. And Dortmund lead by 2. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. RB Leipzig. We're coming for you. Right, so that'll cut the gap to 1. And it means that if Bayern do win away in Leipzig, it'll remain at 1. And we'll add a bit of goal difference record as well. And that'll be their game in and gone too. Of course, it does mean that Bayern will cut the gap on us to 2 as well. So it's a difficult one. I don't want Leipzig to win. But the question is, do I want Bayern to win? Or will a point be good enough for me? Even so, I'll say to the boys here, you might be winning, but that could all still change. Performance levels drop. Don't let it happen. Got to see this game out here. Currently up by 2 away at the Rhine Energy Stadium. We need these 3 points. Free kick. Dortmund. Romero having a ball out there. Floats one in. And Captain Creswell scores his first goal since he took the armband in the summer. I'm so pleased I made him captain. I mean, to me, it was between 2 players. And it was both our CBs. You know, is it the Dragon or is it Charlie? I went with the older of the 2. And I think I made the right call there. Leading by example. Heads in his 3rd for Dortmund. And his first of the year. Dortmund are 3-0 up. Again, due to how tight the league table is so far, it could come down to goal difference come the end of the season, which means that results like this are made even better by the fact we scored a few as well. And there was something in the air that night, but Fernando couldn't finish. That's my punishment for blaring out ABBA for the 2nd time today. Fresneda picks it up, and it's a lovely ball to our number 9. And Fernando finds Kroos, and Mukoko was definitely onside there, whipped in by Loreen. A cross come shot, or a shot come cross, I should say. and it is 4 for Borussia Dortmund. Was that supposed to be a cross by Kroos? Because if it was, I mean, this dude's vision, creativity, it knows no bounds. Dos Santos does well to hold it up there. He might get credit with the assist, but Kroos, was that a cross or was it a shot? I'm not too sure. Even so, he gets credit with the assist. It's 4 for Dortmund. Job done. Dortmund's unbeaten start to the season continues. 7 wins and 2 draws on our opening 9 games on a big 3 points here away in Cologne. So, yeah, big 3 points there. We'll cut the gap on Leipzig to 1 for now. The question is, will they remain 100%? As they host Bayern Munich, 20-time champions in a row tonight. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want Bayern Munich to get a result. If not a win, then definitely at least a point. So let's process through together as we'll praise Kroos once again for his passing and his vision and his quality of chances created. I mean, this dude, I mean, seriously, I mean, as a deep line playmaker or an anchor man, he was fine. That positioning, that anticipation, that balance, I mean, it's just phenomenal, man. I understand at left back, yes, we had a great crossing and the pace he's got as well, but to me, he's just brilliant in this DM area. So let's process through then. Is Leipzig, oh fuck me, who have just won again. Bayern's first loss of the season, which means it's us and Leipzig who remain undefeated, but 9 wins in a row. This is typical Doxy boy luck, this is. The one season where Bayern stumble out the blocks and we are on fire. There's a team even more engulfed in flames, and that is RB Leipzig. 9 in a row for RB Leipzig. Well, if we don't beat them in a Red Bull Arena next month, it's their title. I won't be able to see us overtaking them if they win again. Okay, guys, 5th and final game of today's episode is indeed Ingolstadt, a 2-Liga side in the DFB Pokal. Now, we've never got through the second round of the DFB Pokal. If we can't make it through a 2-Liga side at home, then I think we're just cursed in this competition, really. So this should be a banker. Let's hope that is the case here at home. So because of that in mind, and we've got Freiburg on the weekend as well to a good start this season, I have decided to make a lot of changes to our lineup, and this will be our team. Why have I... Okay, there we go. So, yeah, heading into the game, this will be our team. In fact, let's change our mentality last minute as well because we are at home. This want to go positive, and this will be our team. Alfonso is going to get a start in this game. I think his first starter for us since coming in here. The young Mexican goalkeeper looks really, really good, so we'll get a start in this one here. We've got Luis Flavio at left back, the lead centre-back partnership of Bennett and Creswell, and Striddy at right back. Crozier and Ozcan are our DM duo with Company on the left, Romero on the right, and Landshooter, who just needs to keep on playing to keep banking on this good form. Supporting Mukoko up top. On the bench, we've got Steiger, Stoic, Vatjen, Fresneda, Diao, Curing, Mohamed, Dos Santos, and Norton as well. In fact, let's take off the Dragon due to him not having great conditioning. So, yep, 5th and final game should be a banker, but if we can't get through this, we'll just give up on the DFB Pokal. It won't be our competition and we'll be cursed. Come on, Borussia Dortmund. And yes, guys, thank you so much for watching episode number 100. I really hope you have enjoyed the special thank you episode. You know, if you're not following me on Twitter right now, it's at JonahDocs. Yes, it's changed. I've changed my username. It's at JonahDocs. There's a link in the description. In fact, I need to change that now. It will be the old one. But anyway, it's at JonahDocs. And I've mentioned very recently on Twitter that I want to start doing some live streams with you guys on Twitch TV. And I really want to live stream Football Manager. You know, as I mentioned at the start of today's episode, I love playing FM, I love making videos on FM, I love doing these long-term saves as well, so I want to do like a Twitch save. So I've been asked by some of you guys, would you live stream this save? I think because we're now 11 and a half seasons in, we're a bit too far to get new people to come along on the journey, knowing we're, you know, basically at the other end of the journey, really. We're no longer an RTG with little Bournemouth in the Premier League, we're now at Borussia Dortmund going for, you know, Bundesligas and Champions Leagues as well. So I think what I'd do is I'd start a new Football Manager save, and I'd like to have you guys sort of there for the start as well. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at JonahDocs. All of my social media profile now have been changed to at JonahDocs. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting the save so far. Episode 100 as well. And yeah, coming soon, I hope, we'll be starting a new FM save on Twitch TV. So 30 minutes in, we've finally broken the deadlock against Ingolstadt. Flavio getting his first start, I think, this season, and Company getting a rare goal, which he really, really needed. Yep, come on, Anthony. I've given you the start tonight because I need you to get back on the score sheet consistently. You've been a massive, massive, massive help to me since joining Dortmund as my star player for the first couple of years. This year, he's taken a massive step back. He needs to get back to good form. And right on cue, He's got his second as well. And this is what he needs. You know, this is, I mentioned this before, like sometimes, like if a player's struggling, play them in a game like this where you expect them to have a good game no matter what, because of course they're taking on lesser opposition. Sometimes players, they need a confidence boost, and a great way to get that confidence boost and get that testosterone flowing, if you will, is have a chippy, have an easy one, have an easy game where you expect to get a goal or two. Anthony's done just that, and we lead by 2. Stridi wins the ball back high up the pitch, and as Landstrom finds Mukoko, will drop all the way to Romero at the far post, and Angelo's actually going to get credit with the assist there as Mukoko. I want to see that on the 3D there, because you know me, I prefer 2D to 3D, and not just because my graphic capabilities are poor on my iMac, but I want to see if Mukoko was tripped. I think that's a great advantage there played by the referee. I think he was going to give a penalty, but instead saw Romero was running onto it, didn't blow the whistle, and Romero capitalises on the good advantage played by the referee there. Fair play. That's when 2D lets you down a little bit. I'd always say 2D to me, even if I had a great system that had good graphics, I would still play 2D. Hand on heart, I would still play 2D, because to me, I'm old school. But that's where 2D does let you down a little bit, you know. The 3D gives a little bit of a better picture there, quite literally. So 3-0 Dortmund, and it seems as though our progress to the third round of the Cup for the first time since I've been here is in the bag. And as Yusufa gets a goal to make it 4, he'll be coming off the break. We've dominated in this first half, although it's going to be disallowed through offside. And as we close the game out here, Anthony going for his hat-trick hits the bar, and Ingolstadt will clear, but that is going to do it. And Dortmund, for the first time since I've been here, are making it through to the third round of the DFB Pokal. Yep, last 2 years, early knockouts to Mönchengladbach and Hoffenheim, but this year, against the 2 Liga side, would have been very embarrassing how we've gone out in the second round for the 3rd year in a row. So a comfortable 3-0 win, got all the goals in the first half, and kind of eased off a little bit in the second, but we will take it. Our unbeaten run to start the season off continues, and our quest for our first major honour with Dortmund continues as well. Really glad to get the win there, and that is how we'll end it today. So guys, actually, when's the draw for the Cup? When's the draw for the Cup? Is it before? Is it tomorrow? It's Friday. Have we got a game before that? Do you know what? We'll end on that. We'll see the draw for the 3rd round, and we'll end on that. Torre prefers company to Cazada. Well, he's worked with both. That's an interesting one. I mean, they've been like my 2 main guys in this save. You know, first with Bournemouth, Raul Cazada, and then with Dortmund, Anthony Company. Well, personally, I wouldn't want to swap either of them. I just prefer to have them together. Raul Cazada this season, for those curious, the real deal. Having a bit of a better year than he did last season at Manchester United. Of course, last year, under 4 goals and 4 assists in 21. This year already, he's matched that in terms of goals. Only 2 assists fewer in the 11 games as well. So the Chilean finally getting it sorted after a tough debut year at Old Trafford. Oh, I miss you, Raul. I miss you. And so we'll end with this then, the last 16 draw for the DFB Pokal as we head into the 3rd round. And hopefully we'll get ourselves a favourable draw, maybe against Darmstadt at home. That would do me very nicely, with the other remaining teams being Bundesliga sides. So we'll be taking on, thank God it's not Leipzig. We'll take on at home, is it Darmstadt? Go on. Oh no! Okay, do you know what? They didn't win it last year. They lost the final to Mönchengladbach. And to be fair, if there was ever a time you had to face Bayern Munich, I guess right now is probably the best time we could be facing them, right? 4th in the Bundesliga, only won 2 of their last 5 games. I guess if there was ever a time to have to face them, it would probably be right now. But it is the 20th time in a row Bundesliga champions. Bayern Munich in the last 16 of the DFB Pokal. Finally through the 2nd round, and will probably go out in the 3rd. At least we're at home. But that was today's episode of the FM Save, guys. So big thank you for watching the video if you have enjoyed it. Honestly, thank you so much for supporting the Save, guys. Really appreciate it. 100 episodes in. And like I said during the Ingolstadt game, I am planning to do a new FM Save to stream it on Twitch. But this one will still continue to be uploaded, hopefully, for the most part, daily. And yeah, thank you for supporting the Save so far. It's been amazing. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys so much. It's been wonderful. So yeah, thanks for watching episode number 100, the Thank You special, and the Save as a whole. And I'll see you for episode number 101. And we cannot come back with that doubleheader right there. Inter in the Champions League. And then the 9 in a row winning run, RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga away from home. Have a great day, guys. Much love. And I'll see you for the next episode of the Football Manager Save very soon.